guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a bit since I've done an actual sit down video. I just wanted to do this video to let y'all know how I am parenting my babies. This one is going to be on how I'm disciplining Bella, which is really big right now because she is almost 2 and things are getting a bit ridiculous around this house. So it is really easy to get frustrated and to lose my temper, and I feel like everyone is that way. Nobody's perfect, but I try really hard to not make everything a big deal, which that is difficult for me because there is so much always going on around here. I'm always doing something. I'm either working hard for my YouTube channel, or I'm babysitting, or I'm trying to take care of both of my kids while juggling housework, or I'm running errands while trying to juggle my kids. So it's really hard for me to be able to take a step back and be like, hey, she's acting this way because, so don't freak out. That's very difficult for me. But these past few weeks, I've really been trying to be better about that. Instead of reacting so quickly, just taking a second to be like, is this a big enough deal to spank her? And trying to make different levels of discipline. So obviously, if she's just like touching something she's not supposed to, the first time I'll just tell her no. I'll just a lighthearted like, Bella, no. And most of the time, she will stop. The second time she goes back to it, I will say, Bella, and I get a little more serious, and I say, do not touch it. If she touches it after I say that, then she does get her hands patted. Not hard. It's not like I'm smacking my kid. I'm not hurting her. It just hurts her feelings. It's literally, I just do that, and it doesn't hurt. Anything that I do to her, I do to me first. That way I know how hard I'm hitting her. I do not react out of anger and just go ham on my child. That is not what's going on. It's just, she needs to know, hey, I'm serious, and whenever I say no, it means no. And that's something we're really dealing with around here lately, is that she's really testing boundaries, and she's really pushing her limits to see just how much she can get away with until I break. And I don't want it to be that way, which is, it's funny to say it like that because she's not even 2 yet. It's not like she really understands, right? Oh no, she does. And the way I know is because if she knows she's doing something she's not supposed to, and she sees me stand up, or she thinks I'm standing up, like if I'm in another room and I hear her touching something she's not supposed to, like the TV remote, or the PlayStation, or the expensive things in our home, like my phone, the iPad, like if I hear her touching those things while I'm in the bathroom or something like that, if I just rub on something and make it sound like I'm getting up, my child will run as fast as she can away from whatever she was touching. That's how I know that she knows she's doing something wrong. And I don't even have to say, like, Bella, don't touch that, like from the other room. Before I do that, all I have to do is pretend like I'm getting up, and she will stop whatever she's doing. So she is very aware of what she's allowed to do in my home. She's been here long enough to understand what she can touch and what is bad. Now, there are things that she does not understand yet, like why she can't put certain things in her mouth, or why she can't pull her sister up by her arms, or like why she can't drag her sister off the couch. She doesn't understand those things. She just thinks that she's trying to be sweet to her sister when she does stuff like that. Like, all she wants to do is just hug her. But I have to pay attention because she will do crazy stuff like that if I'm not watching so closely every second of the day. So, back to how I discipline. That's what I do once that second no is said and she does it a third time, if I say do not touch that and that's the second time, and then she does it a third time, she gets her hand spatted. That is just to enforce that I say no and that means no. That is that next level of discipline. First it's just a gentle no, then it's a serious no, then it's a spat. If she keeps doing something that she knows she's not supposed to do, like if she intentionally does something looking me in the face, like I tell her no that third time, spat her hand, and she comes right back and does the same thing to something she knows she's not supposed to touch, like the PlayStation that's hundreds of dollars worth of equipment, like, then she gets spanked. It's after I've told her no so many times that she knows she's not supposed to, that I will spank her. Now, if it's something more serious that she immediately needs to know, you don't do that, then she gets spanked immediately. Example, today she had to be spanked because she walked over to our outlets. She took off the childproof cover out of the outlets. Childproof, right. She took it out of the outlet and tried to stick her finger in it. Immediately she got spanked. Right on her butt, through her diaper. It's not like it hurt bad. She just had to know immediately that was what you were just touching and you do not do that. So I do spank her for stuff like that, things that are dangerous. The last thing I want is an ER trip, because she's my kid and that's really the last thing that I want to see is her hurt. That's about the only reason why I will spank her, is if I have told her a multitude of times not to do something and she intentionally does it again, like in a row. It's a whole different story if I've told her 3 times, spattered her hand, and then 2 hours later she comes back and does it. I won't spank her then, I'll just do the process over again. But if it's in a row and she intentionally does it just to see if she can get away with it, then she gets spanked. And then in dangerous circumstances, the outlets, the oven, knives, she is opening doors and opening drawers, and me keeping the bathroom closed is no longer working and keeping her out of the bathroom because she can open doors now. So it's just stuff like that, things that she's not supposed to be into and she knows she's not supposed to, that she gets spanked for. And I'm trying to think of anything else other than that. I really think that's it. She doesn't get timeouts. We tried the timeout thing, but she's just too little to understand timeouts. She can understand the cause and effect of spanking right now. It's working really, really well. Timeout did not work for us. She's too little to try and talk sense into her because she's tiny. So I can't really get down on her level and be like, now listen, when mommy says not to touch something, I mean don't touch it, because she just doesn't understand yet. She can understand that I say no, and she understands small things, but things like that she just can't comprehend yet. So we're trying our best to kind of put that connector there, the, hey, when we say don't do something, it means don't do it, and if you do it again, there are consequences. If you do not listen to us, there are consequences. That's just how we've been doing things here lately. And it's working extraordinarily well. But as she's getting older, obviously she's going to test boundaries, and you have to find something that works for your kid. And for our kid, the spanking works. And I'm not going to spank her for something silly like touching a pen, or like, I don't know, something silly, throwing the pillows off the couch. Those are things that I have to teach her not to do. Like today she drew on her face with a pen after I told her no, not to touch it. She picked it right up and like drew all the way up the side of her face. So it's things like that that I have to force myself not to react. I have to say, okay, she doesn't understand. Like, she doesn't know that she's writing on her face. She's never used a pen before. She doesn't get it. I have to force myself to calm down because these days my temper is not so great. And with a toddler that pushes your limits, that's understandable. I do have to take a step back and say, hey, this isn't the battle that you want to fight today. Just tell her no, take it away from her, and get over it. And that's what we are doing now. I found myself saying no all day long, every day. I felt like every second of the day I was saying, no, don't do that. No, don't touch that. Please don't touch that. Don't do that. Don't do that. And the way that we have fixed it is the spatting of the hand, doing those different levels of discipline. We have fixed it by the spanking. We have fixed it by being more intentional with her routine and being more intentional about not reacting to things but trying to understand what's going on and why she's being this way. Sometimes she's being that way because she's jealous. Sometimes she's being that way because she's tired, or she's hungry and she's trying to get our attention, or she's thirsty and she's not old enough yet to always be able to tell us those things. Sometimes she'll come to me and she'll say eat, or she'll say drink, or she'll ask for milk, and that's how I know that she's tired and she wants to go lay down. But that's not every day. So sometimes it's a skill of being intentional with your kid and trying to figure out what exactly is wrong and why they're trying to get your attention doing bad things. Sometimes it's just because I'm feeding Ellie and I couldn't hold her, and she's ticked off because I couldn't hold her, so she's going to go around and knock everything off that she can off of my coffee table and my end table, and she's going to touch everything she knows she's not supposed to because she knows that I'm busy and that I couldn't hold her, and it made her mad. And that's okay. She's allowed to have feelings like that, but it's my job to teach her that she is, like, that it's unacceptable to act that way. That's my job, is to teach her not to be a brat. And so that's what we're working on right now. And it's okay that she's acting this way. She's not even 2. It's okay that she has bad days. I've said that before on here, and y'all have heard it from me a million times. She is just a baby. It's okay for her to have days where it feels like I'm telling her no all day long and she never gets spanked. It's okay to have a day like that. But for it to be every single day of every week, that's the point we were getting at, and something had to change, something had to give. So that's what we changed. I decided to start doing the different levels of discipline and trying to pick my battles. So a pen is not my battle. Not today, it wasn't. The TV remote isn't my battle some days. Sometimes I just take the batteries out of it and just give it to her. There are a million things that aren't my battle. So there are things that I just had to learn to deal with. And it has really made our lives a lot easier, and she's acting a lot better. I feel like it was a lot harder on her too, with everything being a no. But we're at the point now where if there's something that she keeps touching and she just can't get herself to leave it alone that day, I will just take it to another room and shut the door. And that's all I have to do, and she'll just forget about it. And that's okay. It's okay to have days like that where you have to take things from them for them to stop touching it. You don't have to make it a war of don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. Just take it away and tell her no. And then you don't have to deal with it anymore because she can't touch it. So that's what we've been doing. if you enjoyed this video and you enjoy learning how we're doing things around our house, I'm not saying it's the right way, I'm not saying it's the best way, or that it'll work for everybody. I said the same thing in my sleep training video. I'm not saying that it's perfect. I'm just saying that it's what's working with our 2-year-old. She's doing really, really well with this. It's taking us a long time to figure out what works for her, and this is what works for her. And I've heard of a million kids where spanking does not work, and that's alright. You can do other things, but I've tried everything but with my kid, and none of it works except for spanking or spatting her hand or just telling her no. And she listens so well. If you've seen my kid in public ever, you know that she listens to me. And I really think that that all starts at home. And they always act a lot worse for their parents at home than they do for anybody else. So please keep that in mind. Don't get so frustrated with your kids because they're doing it because you're mom and dad. That's why they're doing it. But when I am in public, she is just so good. And I'm always so proud to take her places and see her act like that. There are definitely times that she is tired and we didn't get a nap and she's hungry and there's just all the things wrong and she acts out while we're out somewhere like Walmart. And she doesn't want to sit in the cart, so she's crying. We definitely have times like that. I'm not saying that every time we go somewhere she's the perfect child. That's not the case. But I'm just saying that I am so proud of her and she is doing so good now. I had to buckle down and I really had to figure out what I wanted to do and start being more intentional with how I was disciplining her and what I wanted to be serious about. I'm definitely more serious about certain things than I am others, such as if she gets into the cleaners under the sink, I'm more serious about that than I am if she's in the Tupperware. Like, obviously those are different. So I'm going to be more serious with different things that she's getting into, or if she's trying to open the front door, I'm going to be more serious about that than if she's trying to open the bathroom door, because she needs to know that there's a difference. And the reason why she's getting in trouble is that that one goes outside and that one goes to a bathroom. Like, there's definitely a difference there. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, then be sure to like it and subscribe if you're not already. Hit the notification bell so that you can be notified when I post, which is every day, and it has been every day for a while now, and I'm very proud of that, especially with 2 kids. It's really hard to post every day, but I'm doing it and I'm so proud of myself. Creating new content and really getting stuff out there. I'm really proud of myself for that. I will definitely brag about that because I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do it. I was looking at doing that. Looks like such a big mountain whenever you're first starting. And it looks like something that you're not going to be able to do, especially when you're already just struggling just to take care of your kids during the day. But seeing myself now and seeing how hard I'm working and how far I've come is really exciting to me. Thank you to everyone who has taken the time to watch my videos and who is watching this right now and just taking time out of your day to support me by liking or subscribing or sharing. Feel free to share. Thank y'all. It's really becoming such a cool community and I'm really loving it. So thank y'all so much, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.